Is it recording? I don't know if it's recording or not.
I hope it's recording.
Hang on. What is up, everybody? My name is Brendan.
My name is Connor.
Connor Mullis is in the building, everybody.
Yes.
Well, today is a Sunday.
Yes, it is approximately 5:30.
Yeah, yesterday was a very big day of upsets.
It's a very sad day in, at least, I would say, in the town of in the state of Georgia.
Yes,
sad day.
in the state of Georgia, because the number one team got knocked off. Okay, so we're going to talk about the upsets that happened today. Maybe
Yesterday.
Our top six. And just different teams, like how they played out, why they lost. My team is Miami, born a Cane, raised a Cane. And Connor's team is Georgia.
Obviously.
So we're going to specifically talk about those two teams because we really paid attention to their games.
Yeah.
But, of course, the Alabama game was a little weird because they were playing Mississippi State, and they almost lost, which was very surprising to me. I understand that I think it was their defense, even their offense was just really bad that game.
Alabama?
Yeah, Alabama. They just let up so much on
Alabama,
Mississippi
honestly,
State.
that was not a top-ranked team performance in my opinion. I mean, they still should be number one. They won the game. At the end of the day, they won the game. But like, that's not a top team performance, honestly.
Yeah, it absolutely wasn't. It was 31-24, but at the same time, you have to think, like they are undefeated. They have been undefeated for such a long time. I don't know. Their reputation's really good, but their resume that really didn't help their resume as a number 16 team in the top 25.
Yeah.
That they almost lost to.
Yeah, I just don't agree that it was not at all their best performance. None of the top teams, like Georgia did not play good. Alabama did not play good.
Alabama, it came down to the last 40 seconds,
and they literally came back to the last 30 seconds, and they won it.
They scored a touchdown, which was, they should have been playing like that all game, to be honest, because that last drive was very, very aggressive. But yeah, 31-24 by Alabama. I mean, I give my props to them for winning, but I just don't think that it was
and also, like,
number one team performance.
One thing is that Alabama had a lot of defensive line players that were like injured, but I mean, like, still, if you're number one team, you should have number one, not like, you shouldn't just have number one stars. You should have number one, like, backups, like second string, third string.
They definitely have number one backups. They have 5-star second string.
Yeah, so and I feel like they didn't perform that.
They really didn't, honestly. But you also have to think that the way that Nick Saban coaches, he doesn't really get his second strings game ready, and you can definitely tell by the game against Mississippi State.
Yeah. Because
they had so many second strings in because they had so many people out.
Yeah, they had a bunch of injuries for their defensive line.
There's a lot of teams right now who are struggling because it's the end of the year. It's November in college football, and people are just dropping left and right on everyone's teams, man. It's ridiculous.
Luckily, this year, for some miraculous miracle, Georgia's not one of those teams.
Georgia is not one of those teams.
Yeah. We really have not had a lot of injuries for Georgia this year.
Well, Georgia's actually been playing pretty good. I mean, they just need to get Fromm to throw the ball more, get comfortable in the pocket, because his nerves got to him in the Auburn game.
That game. So I didn't get to see the game. I was at work, but I watched the highlights of it this morning, and I saw a little bit of it like last night on SportsCenter. And the main thing I saw was that Georgia really just beat themselves. And that happens at least one game out of every season. Like, it happened last year. I forgot what game it was, but it happened last year. It happened the year before that. But it's just one game where we don't play the other team. We play ourselves, and we just beat the crap out of ourselves and just get stupid penalties, make dumb decisions. I mean, honestly,
in my opinion, I think that it was good that you guys lost this game simply because
how dare you say
wasn't.
That?
I mean, if you were going to lose any game, I guess it was good that it was this one, because honestly, it didn't drop that much, because Auburn was ranked 10 in the college football playoff. So what that means is that you guys didn't drop. So, for example, if you've played a team that wasn't even in the top 25, you guys would have dropped significantly.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I see that. That'd be even more embarrassing right there.
But I think that it was okay for you guys to win. Not win. You guys didn't win.
yeah.
I
get
think
it right.
that it was okay for you guys to lose this game, simply because it was a team that was in the top 10. You guys didn't fall that far. Hopefully, they get ranked, I guess, number 7 in the college football playoff committee this Tuesday. But that's just only what time can tell. But you guys can still get into the playoff picture. Like, you guys are still in the discussion.
The worst case scenario for Georgia is that we go to a good bowl game, and that's still not bad.
Exactly.
Like, we'll go to a good bowl game, destroy some team, and we'll be good.
And I think that it's kind of... They think that it's the end of the world now, like Georgia fans do, just because they have been undefeated for 9 games.
Georgia fans are making me so mad right now. They're so fake. It's like, okay, we lost. So what? We're gonna keep going. It's not like, oh, we lost. You can't be a Georgia fan anymore. That makes me mad. I've seen a bunch of stuff on Twitter about that.
I just think that this game, I would have preferred you guys lose this game than any other game, simply because you guys now still have a shot at the Final Four. I know that you guys probably won't be in the Final Four.
Yes, we will.
Whenever the college football,
when
the college football playoff committee votes on the Final Four. Not the Final Four, the top 4. You guys probably won't be in the top 4. And if you are, I'm going to be so surprised. But the college football playoff committee has surprised me so much these past 2 weeks. It's been ridiculous.
I don't think the playoff committee likes Georgia at all.
The playoff committee definitely doesn't like Miami.
But y'all number 2 now.
In the AP polls.
Yeah.
We got to figure out what the committee...
Which I respect. I like Miami mainly because Mark Richt's there. Because I love Mark Richt. Rest in peace to Mark Richt at Georgia. But yeah, that'd be one of the reasons I like Miami, because Mark Richt, he's such a good coach.
I read a tweet and it said something about a Georgia fan, and they were tweeting and they were like, Mark Richt, why would you do this to us? As in leaving Georgia.
Yeah.
Miami Canes football tweeted back to them. I think pretty sure that they said Mark Richt didn't leave Georgia. He got asked to leave from Georgia.
Yeah.
And he'd rather... they said that he'd rather be tan and live in South Florida and talk to Maria, which is one of the... I think it's the ESPN commentators or something. Uh-huh. And then he'd rather talk to her instead of being white and pasty petting an old bulldog.
Yeah. Whatever, Richt. Whatever, dude.
I don't think that... It was Mark Richt's fault at all for leaving Georgia. That's just a whole nother story.
Yeah, I don't want to. We went through that last year. I don't want to relive that again.
Yeah,
that was a sad day in the lives of Georgia fans right there when Mark Richt was asked to leave. It was a sad day, very sad.
But anyways, back on topic. So you guys still have to play Alabama in the SEC championship.
Yeah, we're still number 1 in our conference.
So it's really not a big deal. As much as Georgia fans are making it a big deal, it's not really that much of a big deal. So there's only 4 undefeated teams right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's gonna be Alabama, Miami,
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin's one.
UFC
and
too.
UCF is
UFC. UFC.
UCF. There's only 4 undefeated teams right now in college football. So
no one cares about UCF.
I mean, UCF is they don't really play anybody. That's why they're not really in the picture right now.
Hold on. All right. I want to bring up what you said about why it was a good thing that Auburn beat us. And I agree with you there now. I agree, because in the SEC championship we're gonna play Alabama, and I think that from that loss, Georgia's gonna be super just ticked because we lost to Auburn, and so I feel like they're gonna use all that hatred and energy to really make the Alabama game a really, really good aggressive game, and that's what I really want to see.
Yeah, I mean, Alabama and Georgia have really not really been liking each other.
Well, we've only played them twice in the past few years. We played them in the SEC championship and like when we had Aaron Murray, and then we played him. I think what was it last year, and we got destroyed.
But at the same time, like Georgia has such a good and complex team right now.
Our running backs are key.
Your running backs are amazing.
Oh my god!
But the thing that Auburn did with you guys is they shut your run game down.
Yeah,
and
they
then
really
Jake
did.
Fromm couldn't throw because he hasn't really had any big games like that to throw in.
Well, he was also like he had a lot of pressure going in. Like the Auburn's defensive line had like a lot of pressure going in on him.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand you being Jake Fromm and being in that situation, and then the outcome happened that did happen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you guys had a week to prepare, and knowing that Auburn was going to shut down your run game, now all you're trying to do is run the ball while you're actually playing Auburn, and they're stuffing you.
Yeah,
and then Jake Fromm can't really do anything about it because he's not really that experienced.
Yeah,
he's a freshman.
That's when his inexperience comes into play. That's where he's a true freshman.
That's exactly where you could tell his nerves were coming out.
Yeah.
All right, well, enough about really talking about specific teams. We're just gonna go over some scores that happen in Week 11. So Washington and Stanford played 30-22 Stanford. I didn't really get to see much of that game, but I was pulling for Washington because Washington was kind of a talked about figure in I guess the top 10 in the college football playoff ranking. But Michigan State versus Ohio State, that game was not even a game. That was just ridiculous.
Who won that game? I didn't get to see that one.
Ohio State blew Michigan State out 48-3.
Dang. See, I don't know why I like Michigan State for some reason. I don't know why. I just like if I were to go, if it was like, I would go for them. I don't know why. I just would.
It was such a shutdown game.
Yeah.
Like for the longest time, Michigan State couldn't even score. It was just so sad. I just felt so bad for them.
Yeah, same thing with Georgia.
But the Rutgers played Penn State, and Penn State won that game 35-6.
Penn State's
of course.
They've been showing up this season, honestly.
They have had some hiccups, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if they would have lost to the Rutgers, it'd have been super questionable. Oklahoma State versus Iowa State, that was a really good game. It was a close game throughout the entirety of it. 49-42, Oklahoma State won. That was a pretty good game. I don't know if you watched it.
No, I didn't really get it. The only games I really watched yesterday were the Alabama game, Miami game, and the Georgia game.
That one was it was pretty good. I mean, it was close the entire game, and then Oklahoma State kind of stretched away from it and then won with 49-42. NC State versus Boston College. This game was way too close. Like,
really?
NC State brought it when they played Clemson, and I cannot believe that it came down to be 17-14. NC State won.
Georgia played Boston College, I think, last year, and we it was a no-name team. We just creamed them just because we paid them like $1 million or something like that. That's really surprising.
I didn't watch much of this game, but by the score of it, 17-14, NC State brought it whenever they played Clemson.
Yeah.
Like, they were trying to take Clemson out.
Yeah.
And now they're, letting Boston College score 14 on them whenever they can only score 17.
Yeah.
Whatever. I didn't really watch much of that game, so I'm not really informed on that.
Yeah.
Connecticut versus UCF. Of course, UCF won 49-24. Arkansas LSU. Who do you think won that one?
Arkansas LSU?
Yeah.
I'd go Arkansas.
Nope. Is that
LSU won that?
33-10.
Wow.
Yeah. And of course, the Georgia Auburn game.
Yeah, we don't speak of that.
40-17.
Okay. There's not many things I hate in this world, but the two things that I really hate are Auburn football and Loganville. I don't like those. You want to know why, Brendan?
Sure.
Auburn Ooh, Auburn gets so lucky. All right, so the game that Georgia fans never, ever, ever want to talk about. It's like saying Voldemort to a Georgia fan.
It sounded like I farted, but I just put my elbow on the chair.
But like,
okay, continue.
So the game that it's like like you say the word like the name. Well, I don't even know how to say it. But the
Voldemort?
game, yeah.
Oh.
No, I'm talking about like the Georgia Auburn game that no one talks about.
Oh, the one where they got the tip and then scored the touchdown.
That, you know how lucky that was.
That was a miracle play right
there. That's lucky. This last game, I did not, going back to the Georgia Auburn game of yesterday or Saturday, whatever. I don't think Auburn was a better team. The only part where I thought Auburn was better than us was their running back. Their running back killed our freaking defense. He ran through us like it was absolutely nothing. That's the only thing I'll give Auburn. But other than that, they did not beat us. Georgia made stupid like decisions. Like they got stupid flags. There's one, I forgot what. Oh, it was like, I forgot what it was. But it was some stupid call that really shouldn't have been called. But like, I mean, missing a freaking punt return or something like that. Are you
talking about this past game?
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about whenever he was it. It wasn't diving, was it? It was like, it was some weird penalty that I've never heard of. Yeah, it was something
stupid that it's like, why would you even call that?
Yeah, it was so weird.
It was, God, I was going to talk about this too, but oh my God, I forgot about it.
Here, let me look it up while you're talking about it.
Because I was watching the highlights of it, and it was like, I know it might have been a personal foul or something like that, and it was I think it was, it was a delayed hit. Like, the dude was, like, they said the guy was already out of bounds when they hit him. And literally, like, you can see on the replay, the dude is running. And the Auburn running back was running. And then one of our defensive guys came in and, like, took out his legs. I mean, and he said it was a delayed hit, which you can obviously see that it's not a delayed hit because he was in the motion when he stepped out. And you can't really stop yourself in midair. Brendan, have you ever stopped yourself in midair? No, I don't think so.
No, I've never stopped myself.
How was that a freaking penalty?
In midair.
Stupid. I hate refs.
Yeah, man. I mean, Georgia, they just had a tough game, man.
We beat ourselves. I
don't really know what to say about that game because it's just such a touchy topic.
It is very touchy.
All right, so moving on. West Virginia versus Kansas State. Who do you think won that game?
Say it again.
West Virginia versus Kansas State.
Ooh. No. Kansas State.
You should have stuck with your first answer.
God dang it! Because I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the standings right now. And it says West Virginia went down a rank.
Yeah, it was West Virginia 28-23. That game was a little too close, but two very equal teams in my opinion. Iowa, Wisconsin beat Iowa 38-14. I thought that Iowa may just maybe would have beat Wisconsin because if you think about it, if you look at who all Wisconsin has played, it's really nobody.
Yeah, they really don't play anybody.
Yeah, and so when they played Iowa, I was like, okay, this is the team of upsets right here.
Yeah.
And they just pulled it through 38-14.
Was Iowa ranked?
Yeah, I think they were ranked like in the 20s or something.
Oh, that doesn't matter. Wait.
But
no, they're not ranked.
Not anymore.
Oh, yeah.
But they were ranked last week.
Rest in peace.
Okay. Oh, I just lost my place. Okay, so Florida State Clemson. Everybody knows how that
Obviously,
game.
Clemson won.
Yeah, everybody knows how that game ended up. It was kind of more difficult for Clemson than people would have thought it would have been.
Yeah.
Because Clemson is such a defined team, especially this year. Of course, their quarterback is injured and stuff.
They're getting a new quarterback next
I know.
Trevor Lawrence out of I think he's from Conyers. He plays for some team here in Georgia.
I mean, they got Deshaun Watson from Georgia too, so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we got what's his name? I just had his name on here.
Anyway, so Clemson, Florida State, it was 31-14, and that was way too close of a game for comfort. That really doesn't help their resume with the college football playoff rankings, in my opinion. Just because this year, the college football playoff ranking committee It's just they're not looking at your record anymore. They're looking at your resume, who you've played, are they ranked, how you played the game. You know, it's just like all of this stuff, which I think they're going to get really scrambled. They would have gotten so scrambled if Alabama lost against Mississippi State.
Dude, if Alabama lost,
so confusing.
The world would end.
But yeah. So what were you saying about that quarterback? Or?
Oh, Trevor Lawrence. He's actually from Cartersville, Georgia. He plays for Cartersville. His team went to the state championship last year.
Really?
I think they won.
Nice.
But he's committed to Clemson. He was number 1 in the state in Georgia, but now in the nation. But now he is number 2, thanks to good old Justin Fields.
Justin Fields.
And they committed. He's a quarterback committed to Georgia now. Getting ourselves. I've seen his highlights. They did this thing on NFL Network. They put it on YouTube, and it's Elite 11, and like they basically just like they get all the top ranks in the nation and they put him to like the ultimate test, and he ended up winning it. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah, he beat out Trevor Lawrence because Trevor Lawrence was number 1, and he was like I forgot what he was, but he ended up beating him out. And he's not a pro style running quarterback like we run at Georgia. He's a running quarterback.
Oh, yeah. So he's like Michael Vick, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Michigan, Maryland.
Michigan.
You got it right. Michigan,
yes.
35-10.
Just put a ding.
The M versus the M. M&M. All right. USC playing Colorado. What do you think?
USC.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously.
It was a very close game. I say that cautiously. It wasn't that close. It was only 24-38, but still. Yeah. I mean, letting Colorado score 24 on a USC defense.
Yeah, Colorado's some nobody team. So. Yeah. A little embarrassing.
Washington State, Utah, 33-25. That was a game.
Uh-huh.
That was something. Personally, I had Utah, but Washington State pulled it out. I mean, they usually do. It's fine.
Dude, people were starting to rumor that Jacob Eason was going to go back to like Washington.
Really?
Yeah, because he's not starting.
Well, if he ever wants to come to Miami.
No, when Mark Richt got fired, he was about to come to Miami.
Really?
Yeah, because Mark Richt was the one who recruited him.
Yeah, I know that Mark Richt recruited him.
Yeah.
I just thought that he had something weird with Georgia.
No, it was just because Mark Richt can recruit kids.
I know.
He is Mark the best recruiter.
All right, listen to this. Okay, so whenever you guys got rid of Mark Richt, he came to Miami, and now he's one of the top recruiting coaches in the nation right now.
Yeah, dude, he will go to like kids' houses personally, like fly out there and like meet them. And do like whatever it takes to get those kids.
Yeah,
to
and
play
especially the Miami-Dade County area and the Broward County area that they have down there. It's like you find some of the best football players down in Miami, and like him being one of the top recruiters, it's just like it's a kid in a candy store down there.
He's just picking them up.
All right, we already talked about Alabama, Mississippi State, 31-24.
Don't care about Alabama. They can go.
That was a very close game. TCU, Oklahoma. Unfortunately,
TCU.
Oklahoma won.
What?
Yeah. I wanted TCU to win, but it was 38-20. That was a pretty good game. I mean, they were only one rank apart from each other, so I mean, I guess it would deem appropriate that Oklahoma would win because they were ranked higher. Whatever. Notre Dame, Miami.
Miami.
This is a game.
Blew them out of the freaking water.
This is a game that I wanted to talk about since it happened. It was in
Miami, wasn't it?
What?
The game.
What do you mean?
Miami versus Notre Dame.
Yeah, Miami, Notre Dame.
It was in Miami.
Yeah, it was. Okay, so we had the home field advantage.
Yeah.
Listen, Miami, the Hard Rock Stadium sold out. Okay, so there was 100% in attendance. Actually, if you look at your ESPN app, it says that like 23 people were in attendance there, but everyone else was. But Miami was at Hard Rock Stadium at home, and the atmosphere there was just, I heard it's like ridiculous because it's so, and this is where I can see how Georgia choked, because the atmosphere is almost everything, especially with a freshman quarterback
and a number 1 ranked team.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with a freshman quarterback at that.
Yeah.
But Miami, if you didn't know, do you know what the Orange Bowl is?
Yeah.
Okay, so that used to be Miami's stadium since the 30s.
Uh-huh.
And my dad used to go and sneak into games and stuff, and he used to work security for the games. And then once they tore it down, it was just like, it was so like tragic to every Miami fan.
Yeah.
But the Orange Bowl had this feeling to it that didn't, like, no other stadium had the same exact feeling and stuff. It's just this vibe that I didn't ever get to live to see.
Uh-huh.
But my dad did, and everybody else in my family that grew up in Miami did. But they would always tell me the stories about how the Orange Bowl was special and how it had like this vibe, had this feeling, like this intimidation factor where you can feel like the energy like through the floor. Like it would be like if you had a stage and like a big like sub just like right in front of you. Like you could feel the bass of exactly. But the Miami fans just get so wild. And then once they built the Hard Rock Stadium, they were just like, it's not going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Orange Bowl just had this special place in everyone's heart that was a Miami fan. But whenever the Hard Rock Stadium got built and Orange Bowl got tore down, it was just people.
It's tragic.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you got stabbed in the heart.
Yeah. But anyways, like these past 2 games, like against Virginia Tech and then also against Notre Dame, they noticed it whenever it was they were playing Virginia Tech because 98% of the stadium was full against Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Just because that was our first ranked opponent, it was a really important game for us and stuff, and we beat them. I think that a lot of it had to do with the atmosphere.
Dude, atmosphere has so much to do with games.
I think a lot of it had to do with the atmosphere just because Miami players get juiced off of just energy.
Dude, any team gets juiced off energy. like
I remember going to the game, the Georgia Tech game, Miami game in 2016. They were at Bobby Dodd Stadium, and we just had not even 1/4 of the stadium.
Yeah.
Were Miami fans, and we were louder than the Georgia Tech fans.
Yeah.
And Miami fans were, I mean, not the Miami fans. The Miami players were juiced off of it, and they won that game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember Mark Richt saying in his post-interview, he was just like, the fans really showed up today. They had a really special place.
Yeah.
Just because Brad Kyle was like, he wasn't a running quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He was weird in the pocket, so he gets sacked a lot if you had a good defense. But I don't know. It was just weird. So... atmosphere definitely does have everything to do with it, and the Hard Rock Stadium was just wild, just incredibly wild. Like nobody could deny how it felt, and so they said it had this Orange Bowl feeling to it after these past 2 games, which is kind of like surreal whenever you say that to a Miami fan.
Yeah.
Just because they remember all the memories that happened in the 80s when we had national championships.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like you can't compare to that, but now like the U, they might be back, and so
dude, I think they are back. Honestly,
yeah,
I mean they're playing like a top ranked team.
For me at least, I think it's way too soon to say that the U is back. We need to get a ring first. Yeah, we just need to get a ring first, and then I'll say the U is back. But definitely they're on their way.
Yeah,
and they're making progress fast.
Have you ever been to a Georgia game?
No.
You haven't been to a Georgia game?
I've not had a desire to go to a Georgia game.
Have you ever been to, like, pregame?
I have seen people tailgate and stuff.
All right.
But I've never been to anything Georgia-related on a game day.
I mean, I've never been to, a Miami game. They're probably a little more hype than Georgia games are. I mean, probably. But, I mean...
Oh, yeah.
Georgia games, especially pregame. Pregame... excuse me. Is the, I mean, I think it's the best time to be because they have you've never been to the dog walk, I assume. You know what the dog walk is.
We have a cane walk, so I'm assuming that it's almost the same thing where they come off the bus and then everybody's kind of on the
you'll have the marching band there.
Yeah.
It's something that. But I mean, like the combination of like the marching band and all the fans and all the like players coming in, that like makes the whole experience. It makes you hype up, and it makes like, I mean, it's a lot.
I
like
think that was a big thing with the Miami game against Virginia Tech, because they really didn't have any fans show up these past what? Holy cow. 15 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Miami hasn't really been a big name
Exactly.
in a while.
They haven't been a big name since 2002, because they were national champions in 2001.
Yeah.
They got gypped in the championship in 2002. They should have been champions in 2002, but I don't want to talk about that. Anyways,
that's the Voldemort game.
So, yeah, exactly. It was, oh my gosh.
That's what we're gonna call games we don't speak of. The Voldemort games.
The Voldemort game, man. But yeah, so when the players came off into the cane walk against Virginia Tech, they were like super juiced and like super pumped about it and stuff. Yeah. And so that's what I think that our driving point is at Miami. It's just the fans and the atmosphere and stuff, because Miami is very energy based. Like, they don't get tired, they don't get fatigued, they don't do any of that. Mm-hmm. But if the crowd kind of turns against them and they start losing and they start getting interceptions and stuff, they'll get down on themselves, and emotions are a really big part. Just like psychologically, that's where they lose.
Dude, that's where, like, I agree with that, because like when Georgia faced Notre Dame this season, we like, there were like the half of the Notre Dame stadium were Georgia fans. You could see red jersey, like red shirts, red jerseys everywhere in that stadium. And I think that was a really, like, one of the factors in us winning that game, because that was a hard-fought game. But I think that was one of the factors of us winning, is our fan base is, like, they go hard.
Yeah. I mean, us playing Notre Dame and us playing Virginia Tech at home was, I would say, 80% of the reason that we won. Mm-hmm. Simply because we had home field advantage. We were comfortable with the field. We were comfortable with the fans, most definitely.
Yeah.
And Miami people are wild. And so, like, they'll get you juiced up.
People in Florida are crazy.
Yeah, they'll get you juiced up real quick. But then the turnover chain.
Yeah.
Like, they just debuted the turnover chain on my birthday, which I might add, September 2nd against Bethune Cookman. But
happy birthday.
Oh, thanks. No, but like, the turnover chains just got some weird spell on this defense that it's just like, it's an honor to have.
Yeah.
Which, it looks sick.
Dude, Georgia has that same thing. We have a golden spike, shoulder pad spike.
About Georgia's golden spikes.
Dude,
freaking,
they look way cooler than a freaking chain, dude.
Unless you got a Cuban link, I don't want to talk about it.
Dude, it's just a chain. We have freaking shoulder pads.
Listen,
we have a spike squad and a freaking shoulder pad.
Real gold, listen.
Ours connect with our fans because we got a freaking spike squad with us. And we wear spike shoulder pads that are freaking
we got a
golden.
Cuban link.
Freaking golden.
Anyways, you guys gypped us. Anyways. So, the turnover chain. Yeah, so Notre Dame, if you don't know, guess how many interceptions they have all year.
2.
Yeah.
Really? I was right?
Yeah, they only had 2 interceptions.
Another ding? Ding.
Yeah, you get a ding. They only had 2 interceptions all year. Okay, and Miami got 4 interceptions on them in one game.
Bet.
In the past, I think it's 4 games, they've had 4 turnovers each game. Mm-hmm. 4 turnovers against Virginia Tech, 4 turnovers against Notre Dame. Like, that's an honor in some ways.
Yeah. It's an honor.
Just because they've only had 2 turnovers, and ball security is what they're known for.
Yeah.
But we had to make their quarterback throw it, man. We shut down their run game. What Heisman? I tweeted it last night, dude. Josh Adams is up for a Heisman right now, and we shut him down.
That's their running back.
That's Notre Dame's running back.
Dude, okay.
We shut him down.
Nick Chubb, my boy at Georgia, running back, freaking beast. 2nd all-time rushing record at Georgia, almost beating Herschel Walker. Don't know if he will. Probably not. I don't know. But there was this thing on Twitter I saw that the guy at Notre Dame, he had a little bit more yards than Chubb did, but he had more attempts. But Chubb had like a tiny bit less. Like his was like say it was like 660 for the Notre Dame guy, and Chubb's was like 45 yards, but Chubb had less attempts. And they were trying to say, like, I don't think that Notre Dame guy was better than Chubb, because they were trying to say that he's like, oh, look, this guy's way better. It's like he had more attempts to rush.
Listen, okay, so the only reason why Josh Adams is even good is because their O-line has a bunch of seniors on it.
Yeah.
Who know how to open up a pocket for Josh to get through.
Yeah.
That's Georgia's biggest thing, is that they don't know how to open up a pocket.
I think we might have a lot of freshmen on our, like,
I don't know what y'all's years are or anything on your offense, but I've noticed it, and Chubb has to literally force his way through the O-line.
Yeah. Just
because like they don't know how to open up a pocket. Notre Dame, they kind of have it down to a T.
Yeah. Well, we have like 5 or 6 seniors that came back for their senior season, like S1E1, Chubb, I forgot the other ones. But we have a few like seniors on our we mostly on our defensive line though.
Yeah, but I mean, S1E and Chubb are running backs, right?
Yeah, dude, that's a team. That duo right there is threatening. They didn't show up at the Auburn game at all,
absolutely.
But they're a threat.
But that was just because Auburn shut down their run game.
Yeah.
And that's easy to do whenever you have such a good defense like that. And that's what we did to Notre Dame. Miami did the same thing. Mm-hmm. If you look at the Miami Notre Dame game, it looks almost similar to the Georgia game.
Yeah.
Just because we shut down. Okay, so Notre Dame's defense is okay. They're not that bad. They're not that good.
Yeah.
But they play good on both sides of the ball normally. Mm-hmm. But the only reason that they play good on the offensive side is because they have Josh Adams. And they also have that O-line that'll open up a pocket for them. Mm-hmm. But they've never played a defense like Miami's before. And Miami not even kind of. I mean, if you look at the game, they shut them down. Like, they shut down their offense. They shut down their run game, and so they made Wimbush throw it. And Wimbush was already hurt on his left. I think it was his left hand was super swollen, bro. It looked like he had elephantitis in it.
Ew.
It was weird. He had to wear a glove on it.
See, that's when I have to like throw in the towel. Be like,
but the atmosphere was getting in Wimbush's head. You could tell because he was underthrowing the ball and he was overthrowing the ball.
Yeah.
He never got it right on tee except for one drive, and they got 8 points on that drive. Mm-hmm. And that's the only 8 points that they got.
That's what happened to Eason last season.
Yeah.
Jacob Eason's a good quarterback. He has so much power that he doesn't really know how to contain it.
No, Jacob Eason used to throw freaking Hail Marys every pass.
There was one game where he was throwing it to Godwin, and like he threw it way too far, like way too far, and hit like the little sandbags for like the touchdown, like end zone thing.
Really?
Yeah, like he nailed it like on the tee.
Yeah. But Notre Dame, Miami, that had to have been the highlight of last night.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that was a positive for me at least because I like Miami.
Yeah, just because like everybody loves hating Miami.
Yeah.
But so now Miami has actually proven themselves, and today the AP polls came out, and they're number 2 in the nation.
Yeah, I hope that like that actually happens too. That they become number 2.
Honestly, I don't think that the College Football Playoff Committee likes Miami.
What rank were they before?
They were number 7.
Okay, then I think at least they'll be number 4 or 5.
Okay, so
at least they're definitely going up.
That's a good little segue into our
new ad.
Yeah, into our new ad. No, so me and Connor have picked out our top 6.
Yes.
The College Football Playoff Committee has not picked the top 25 yet for Week 11.
This is Connor Brennan's top 6.
Yeah, so we're gonna give you our top 6. Connor, you can go ahead first with your number 1.
All right, obviously number 1. I hate to say it, but Alabama, obviously.
Yeah,
I
had Alabama.
They've been killing it
for number 1 too.
I hate them, I really do, but I have to give it to them. Number 2. I think I might give it to Miami. I would give it to Miami. Miami's playing pretty good this season.
I gave Miami number 2 as well. Simply just because their resume with that last game and also playing Virginia Tech. Okay, so this is another thing. I understand that Virginia Tech's kind of worth as a football team went down after losing to Georgia Tech in Week 11.
Yeah.
But we beat them whenever they had a reputation of being a good team. They were only a one-loss team.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's got to pay off or something, because it's kind of psychological whenever they're only a one-loss team and they're kind of dominating and stuff. But we can't really help that they lost to Georgia Tech because they're kind of shook.
Yeah.
Because they lost to us. So I put Miami as number 2. I think that they have the resume. I think that they have the talent. They have the talent to be a championship team if they keep playing how they played against Notre Dame.
All right, so my number 1, Alabama. Number 2, Miami. Number 3, I'll keep it Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma deserves that number 3 spot. Number 4, I'll put Wisconsin just because they're undefeated, and they really I think they kind of proved themselves against Iowa State. Clemson, I'd have to put number 6. Clemson, I'd put number 5. I just would. I don't know why. And I think Georgia, I'd put Georgia at number 6. Not just because I'm a Georgia fan, but I'd put them at number 6.
Okay, so
and I do not agree with putting Auburn as number 6 because I do not think they deserved it. They are 8-2, and they might have more points than us, but I do not think they deserve to be in that number 6 spot.
Here's what I put down as my top 6. So Alabama number 1, of course.
Yeah.
University of Miami number 2. I put Clemson as number 3, simply because they do have the resume. They didn't really do that well against Florida State in Week 11, but I definitely think that
they lost to Syracuse.
I know they lost to Syracuse.
That's embarrassing, dude.
I know they lost to Syracuse.
Syracuse is a no-name team.
I understand. I understand that they lost.
When
to
I
Syracuse.
saw that, dude, I was like, "Is this like?" I thought it was fake. I thought there was some special on like pranks or something like that.
But in a way, you kind of have to give it to them. I mean, they're still only a one-loss team. I don't know. I picked Clemson for number 3. Anyways, number 4. Are you gonna guess who it is?
Oklahoma.
Yep, I put Oklahoma as number 4, and then my number 5 was difficult because Wisconsin doesn't really meet the resume that they should to be a top 5 team. But I think that they're gonna give Wisconsin number 5. Because
they really have to. They're undefeated.
Just because they're 10-0.
Yeah.
Like
they kind of have to.
Yeah. And then of course I put Georgia as number 6. Yes. I don't feel like Auburn should be above Georgia. I know that they kind of creamed them.
They did.
But at the same time, you also have to think that Auburn is 8-2.
I think
Georgia's 9-1.
I think Auburn should be number 7.
Auburn?
Yeah.
I think Auburn should be number 7. They should be right behind Georgia. But I don't think that they should move up from 10 to 6. Yeah. Like, I just think that's too big of a jump to
and really nobody likes Auburn. Who likes Auburn?
To be 8-2 though. And that's what I'm getting at. Is because they don't really have the resume. They beat one good team and it just so happened to be the number 1 team. Of course it
had to be Georgia.
Yeah. And it just so happened to be the number 1 team. But they're still 8-2. I don't ever see a 2-loss team in the Final Four. Like, I just don't. If Auburn wins out, I can see them being in the top 4 in the playoffs. But I just don't see them being ahead of Georgia, with Georgia only being a 1-loss team.
Yeah.
And that's just my opinion.
Okay, so Auburn lost to Clemson and LSU.
Exactly. That's why I think that Clemson should be...
Is LSU even ranked?
LSU? No. Wait. Hang on.
Yeah, wait.
I think they are... Well, no, they're not.
No, they're not ranked. LSU isn't even ranked, and they lost to them. That's where my thing comes in, where they should be below Georgia. Because we haven't lost to we haven't lost to an unranked team. We lost to a ranked team, which was Auburn. They were number 10. But giving them the number 6 spot, I do not agree with at all.
Yeah, I don't... Okay, so... And the Miami-Notre Dame game is a very good comparison to this because Miami's got the resume. They just beat Virginia Tech right before, They were number 13 in the nation in the college football playoff committee. They should be at number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And my opinion is because they blew out Notre Dame, and they were number 7, but they're undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're 9-0 and they're undefeated, they should be in the top 4 somewhere.
Yeah.
I just believe they should be ahead of the one-loss teams. Alabama and then Miami, simply because they're both undefeated. And then Miami just got done with 2 of their hardest games of the season.
Yeah.
It just so happened to be the number 3.
Dude. No, go ahead.
That's why I think that it was appropriate for Miami to surpass number 3.
Uh-huh.
Because, Notre Dame was number 3. And that's why I think that they should have jumped ahead. But I don't think that Auburn should jump ahead of Georgia just because they beat them.
Yeah.
Just because it's a 2-loss team. And that's my big thing with this. It's just because they're a 2-loss team. I don't see a 2-loss team being the champion of college football.
My other thing with Auburn is their schedule, they've played like nobody. They've played Georgia Southern and Mercer. What? And they've played, let's see, Ole Miss sucks this season. Ole Miss is not good this season at all. And then they have to play, who the crap is that? ULM? I don't even know who that is. And they're probably going to blow them out too. But really, Auburn has not played really anybody except for Georgia.
Yeah.
And Clemson and LSU. And LSU still isn't even that big because they lost to them and LSU is still unranked.
Yeah. Okay. So for the scenario that Georgia and Auburn were in, Georgia was number 1, Auburn was number 10. But I don't think that gives Auburn not the right.
Yeah.
But that doesn't give them the leeway to get in front of Georgia simply just because they beat Georgia. Because that was Georgia's only loss.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia's got the resume.
Yeah.
Okay, Georgia only has 1 loss. I could see a 1-loss team being the champion of college football, but I just cannot see for some reason
someone
a 2-loss team.
Yeah, that's not. I really don't think if Auburn were to play Alabama, and I think they would get killed.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless they get lucky like they do all the freaking time and beat them.
I could understand Miami being number 2. Simply because,
dude, I want to see Auburn versus Miami. I want to see that game.
I want to see Georgia versus Miami.
Ooh,
I want to see how that works.
That'll be like a redemption for us firing Rigged.
Yeah.
That'll be a big thing.
If Rigged won that game, he'd just
dude, it'd
give
be
you
like
guys
selling a freaking boxing fight.
Yeah, it would be
redemption.
I
Kirby
think
Smart versus Mark Richt.
That'd be a headline game.
I think that'd be the biggest game of this season.
And
honestly.
I think that's why I'm pulling for Georgia so much. It's just because I want to see them in the championship.
Dude,
man.
We have not had freaking anything in so long. We've come so with Aaron Murray. When we had Aaron Murray, that was the closest we've gotten since that was the closest we've gotten until now.
Okay, so in your opinion, if Wisconsin wins out,
Wisconsin wins out, I think they deserve a number 1, number 2 spot.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
I don't 100%. Think that they deserve number 1 or number 2, but I definitely see them in a 3 and a 4.
I would say top 4 at least. At minimum, top 4. My opinion would be either 1 or 2 spot.
Oh, absolutely, but I just don't see them being a number 1 or number 2 team. Just simply because they haven't lost. There was a pretty impressive win against Iowa, but if you think about it, Iowa was ranked in the 20.
Yeah.
And so
also gotta
Wisconsin hasn't really been playing anybody.
I also got to go for Wisconsin because my grandpa's from Wisconsin.
There you go. Oklahoma, I can definitely see them being in the playoffs. Their quarterback has just been on fire lately.
Ooh, I got a question for you. So Wisconsin, their next game is against Michigan.
Michigan, eh?
Who do you think is going to win that?
That's hard. Michigan is number 19 in the AP polls right now. Wisconsin's number 5.
I think that would be a good game, honestly.
Michigan's 8-2. They moved up 2 spots. after winning their last game.
I think Michigan could do an upset.
I think
Michigan's a tough team.
Anybody can do an upset, especially against a team that is Wisconsin. I'm kind of glad that they're facing Michigan because it's going to be more of a challenge. Number 19, still is kind of low.
Yeah.
But they're 8-2. Auburn is 8-2.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you think about it, it's appropriate that they would pull an upset over Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I can see it happening. But, I mean, if it doesn't happen, then I think that if any of the top 4, loses this next week, I feel like Wisconsin should move up.
Ooh, speaking, who do you think? All right, so for next weekend, what do you think is going to be an upset for next weekend?
Next weekend?
Yeah, hold on. All right.
I haven't even checked who's playing next weekend.
Yeah, all right. Let's check. All right, so I'll check Alabama next weekend, and you tell me who you think will win.
All right. You look it up, and I'll tell you who I think is going to win that game.
What I freaking wanted. Stupid iPad.
But,
God dang,
I just think that,
wow.
I think that Wisconsin could very well lose this next game.
Yeah, I honestly think so too, because they really have not played anybody.
Like, now that you said it,
all right, here we go. You want to guess who Alabama plays next?
Alabama probably plays Auburn.
No.
Oh.
They play Mercer.
Really?
Mercer.
Dude, if they lose to Mercer, they deserve to not even be in the top 25.
Mercer shouldn't be moved up to number 1.
They don't even deserve to be in the top 25.
No, if Mercer wins, Mercer should be number 1. No, they play Auburn after that, after Mercer.
Okay, so they do play Auburn.
Okay, so obviously Alabama's going to win their next game. I mean, they're going to be... All right, so Miami plays...
Next week, Miami plays Virginia. I think.
Y'all play Duke? What the heck? Yeah, y'all play Virginia.
Okay, yeah. That game should be easy, but we need to take it with a grain of salt. We need to take it one step at a time. We don't need to be cocky.
Dude, you say that because, that's the whole mentality that Kirby's been teaching over at Georgia, is that, you can see in the interviews, the post-game interviews, there's we're just working, we're just keep going. It's just a win. And they're just keep going. And I think this last game, that they really kind of got cocky, and they were like, all right, we can kind of coast in this one because Auburn, we're number 1, whatever. And I think they really got cocky, and that really kind of showed in the game.
I mean, it's important to not be cocky, simply because of what happened with Georgia and Auburn. I mean, that's just kind of something that happens. I mean, unfortunately, it just does.
All right, Oklahoma plays Kansas University.
Oklahoma?
Yes. That's a dub.
I don't think Oklahoma's going to lose that game for some reason.
There's something that tells me
Oklahoma's quarterback is doing really good this year. I don't see them losing that game.
Neither do I. Clemson, they play... Oh my god, they're just playing... All the top 4 teams are playing no-name teams. Except for Miami. Miami's playing a good team, but...
Virginia sucks.
Dude,
I'm going to be honest. Virginia is terrible.
What the heck is even in... It says CIT. What kind
CIT?
Yeah, it's some... It's like Cincinnati
Central Intelligence Technology. I don't know.
Dude, they're called the Citadel. Citadel? Look at that.
What is that?
The Citadel. I'm probably not saying that right.
I think that says Citadel.
The Citadel. See, that's why I dropped out of college.
Citadel. Citadel.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't go to college anymore.
Citadel. Okay. Dude. I'm pretty sure that's Citadel.
But the Citadel.
I'm not sure.
Who the hell is that?
I don't really know. I mean, I've seen them on some people's schedules lately, but...
They probably got paid $1 million to play them. But after that, they play South Carolina, and then they play y'all. Ooh. Clemson.
Oh, yeah, they play us in the championship. December 2nd in Charlotte. I want to go so bad, dude. You have no idea. My family lives in North Carolina.
Are they going?
To go to the ACC championship for the first time, the first ever ACC championship game that Miami's ever been in, to be there, and if they win against Clemson, dude,
I'm going for Miami for that game.
I'm going for Miami in that game too.
100%.
I'm a little biased, but
Yeah.
And you know what? I think that Miami deserves to win that game just because they didn't lose to Syracuse.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like you have to remember that Miami kind of was struggling at the beginning of their season, but if you think about it,
they've really shown they can be
game day,
a top-ranked team.
On Saturday morning, Bear he is an alumni of the University of Miami, but he does a lot of college football team matchup picks and stuff, and he picked Miami.
Yeah.
And he made a really good point. He said that when the hurricane happened, the University of Miami didn't really get their practice in how they were supposed to. They had to cancel a game. And then so with them playing these teams and having these, kind of miracle moment games, because they kind of pulled it off with like a field goal in the last couple seconds of the games. And that's just how it was. That's just who the University of Miami was for a couple weeks. And I think that was just like kind of a beginning of their season for them. Yeah. But it was in the middle of their season in actuality. But because all those storms had happened and stuff, like that was kind of the beginning of their season for them because they had to cancel their games and then they couldn't get the practice in that they wanted to. So right now, how people get at their peak in the middle of the season and stuff, and usually in November people will start slacking, kind of like University of Georgia or University of Alabama. Yeah. Because Alabama, a lot of their players are hurt now. Because throughout the season, just like people have been waxing them, bro.
See, dude, that's why I think Mercer's gonna kill him.
I mean, Alabama's just been getting waxed. Let's just be honest. Like all their players have been getting injured and stuff. But that's just the way college football is. Yeah. I mean, by the end of your season, you're just kind of trying to hold on by a very, very thin piece of twine.
We have 2 games left. Georgia plays, can't even say their name, Kentucky next.
Okay.
We're going to beat Kentucky. I mean, we're fired up about losing to Auburn, so I'm pretty sure we'll beat them. And then we have Georgia Tech, which
we beat Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech, I mean, we lost to them last season. But
really?
We lost to him last season, but this season, I mean, I think we're gonna drive right through him.
Okay, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so like people are right now in their seasons are kind of hanging on by anything that they can. Yeah. Just simply because that's how it is at the end of your season in college football. But I think that this is, in a mentality standpoint, just the middle of the University of Miami season. And it just so happens to be at the end of their season and in the most crucial part of their season. So I think that they're the only team that's kind of juiced up as a team usually is in the mid-season.
Next season, in the middle of your guys' season, you're just going to get waxed every game. You're going to get waxed every game.
Who, Miami?
Season. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just going to get destroyed. No, I'm not wishing that upon Miami. But that's just, that's just how I think that it's going to be, is because, we've been getting these really crucial wins and stuff, and by a very significant amount. We've been leading by a very significant amount, and that's just why. That's another factor that I think is a big deal, is that it's kind of the middle of the season for them when it's actually the end of the season, simply because all the storms and stuff that happen and the practices. And
dude, I didn't know that Texas A&M was in the SEC. I really didn't know that. I'm looking at it right now. I was like,
oh
Texas,
my gosh.
I thought there was some other like conference.
Nah, bro. College football.
This has been that is college. That is our take, our opinions
on college football. Yeah, so that is our take
after old upset weekend.
It's a very amateur take on college football.
Don't take our stuff 100%. It's just our opinions.
Yeah,
you know what? We could be wrong about everything we just said, but we don't care.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't really have much time to prepare for this.
Yeah, Brendan hit me up yesterday. He's like, "You want to do a podcast?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it."
You couldn't really tell, but that didn't really hold us back from doing the podcast because we love
grinding on this podcast. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, dude?
We love talking college football. Ew! Oh my gosh, that is disgusting.
Tune in next week for ASMR.
No, please don't. So hopefully we can do more podcasts like this. This is kind of just.
We're definitely doing the second one.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. I just want to see what the University of Miami is going to be put as in the college football playoff
I would
ranking.
like to see what Georgia's gonna do.
Yeah. Hopefully they're above Auburn and not below, but
we can only pray. That's all we can do right now.
Well, okay, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you liked the podcast, I don't really know what you do with the podcast. So.
Where are we gonna post this on?
I don't know.
Let's post it on SoundCloud, Spotify.
Okay.
You can post like podcasts on Spotify now.
Yeah.
Let's get sponsored by Spotify. Spotify, if you're listening to this, but you're probably not, sponsor us. We're two broke kids.
Yeah. So thank you guys for listening to our take on college football week 11. I mean, I know it's very amateurish, but we will get our stuff together, I promise.
Yes. Yes.
We will get our stats together.
Yeah. Let us know if you hated this. If you hated it, tell us. We need some feedback. If you liked it, tell us. If you disliked it, dislike it. If you liked it, hit that like button.
Exactly.
If there's a like button, whenever we post this on, I don't even know what we're gonna post it on.
We're also gonna be doing different podcasts. Just talking about random life stuff.
Yeah.
Just things that are happening in the world.
Dude, that's what we should call it. Random talks.
Random talks.
Random talks.
Wow, we haven't come up with the name yet.
Yeah.
But now I think we just got it. Random talks.
Random talks.
Random talks with Connor Mullis.
Came that right off the dome piece, dog.
Okay. I think that we're gonna leave on that note.
Yep. Follow us on our social medias, especially follow Brendan on YouTube. Follow me on YouTube at Brendan Glockson and at Connor Mullis, MULLISCONNOR. Follow us on our Instagrams and Twitters and whatever else we do. MySpace, if you guys still do MySpace, that's cool.
I'm sure that if you're listening to this, you already do follow us.
Yeah, you probably already do. We're gonna put this on our social medias, but
we're not really that popular.
You know what? Share it with your mom, share it with your dad, grandmother, cousin, maybe even your parakeet. Don't know what you want to do, but it's whatever. But yeah.
Well, this has been fun.
Appreciate you guys for tuning in. For the two that are listening,
yeah,
love you guys.
Thank you guys. We appreciate it.
Yeah, shout out to you.
Please nominate us for a streamy or something.
Yeah, dude, we should put this on Patreon.
What is that?
Patreon?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'll tell you about it.
All right, tell me about it.
All right, dudes and ladies, whoever. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Wait. They're listening. They're not watching.
Listening.
All right. We have to redo this entire podcast
YouTubers.
now. We have to redo this entire podcast now. Cut it.
I gotta get a glass of water before we do that. But anyways, yeah. So this was fun.
Thank you for tuning in, guys.
We're kind of just rambling at this point.
Yeah. Filling time. We gotta fill that 10-minute.
Yeah, we have to fill up that last little 10 minutes. Okay, well, it's been fun. Thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate it. My name is Brendan Glockson, and I am signing off.
My name is Connor Mullis. Tune in next time for an even more random talk about anything. Love you guys. See you next time. Peace.